New numbers out suggest that the average working woman's pay is now getting closer to a man's salary. They say women's median workday earnings were 84% of men's pay, and that is the narrowest pay gap ever. Our Megan Lopez takes a closer look at the numbers for us.
The pay gap between women and men in the U.S. is now at an all-time low. That's according to new data out from the U.S. Labor Department. Women now make 84.5 cents for every dollar men earn. That's up 2 cents from last year. Part of the reason for that closing gap is better education, but also the career fields women are now entering at a higher rate, like STEM fields. But while that news may sound promising, Rakesh Kocher from the Pew Research Center says the gender pay gap has more or less stalled out over the past 2 decades. He says your age plays a role, and not in the way you might think.
That younger women are seeing a much narrower pay gap. When women first step into the labor market, they make more than 90 cents to the dollar when compared with men of the same age. But as these women and men age, the gender wage gap increases.
A big reason for that is because more women step out or take a step back in their careers between ages 35 and 44 to take care of their families. The COVID pandemic took a toll on women in the job market for that reason, so much so that it was actually called a she-cession. But things are rebounding, and with low unemployment, employers are offering more to attract talent. So how can women earn more? Well, for that, I spoke with Julia Pollack, the chief economist at ZipRecruiter.
Women are about half as likely to negotiate their offer. But among people who do negotiate their offers, men and women are almost equally likely to get an improvement. About 90% of people who negotiate their offer get some improvement in their offer. So don't leave money on the table. Stand up for yourself.
Some other things you can do: cast a wide net for jobs so you have more than one offer in hand when you're negotiating. Also, do your homework so you know how much your peers in the same position are earning. But Pollack says employers also need to be more transparent about what they're paying, and job sites need to be disclosing this too, since they have more industry data on hand.